Good morning. What we're doing today is we are going to be creating the mounting bits for the hanging acoustic panels on the ceiling. So what I'm doing is I'm chopping it down into little 10cm blocks. I've marked out all my first reflection points. So what's going to happen is I'm going to hang two acoustic panels off the ceiling. There's going to be an air gap between the first one, and then there's going to be an air gap between the first one and the second one. And what I'm also going to do is the little wooden blocks, they're only going to take the weight of one panel. So if you imagine the panel runs down lengthways there, and then the short side is here, lengthways up here, short side here. We're going to have a block here and then here. So there's going to be two blocks basically on each corner, and the one corner block is going to take the one panel, the other corner block is going to take the other panel, so that the two blocks aren't taking the weight of two panels. Okay, so I've got 11 blocks cut. I only need 8 for the panel, but I am planning to do another panel this side as well as that side, so it's symmetrical. I just need to cut another, I've got 11, I need another 5, so I just need to cut another 5 of these, and I need to start sanding them down and paint and prime them, and then I can start measuring out where they need to go on the ceiling. Cool, let's crack on. Okay, so I'm gonna prime, because these are going on the ceiling and the ceiling is just matte emulsion. I'm just gonna put like 1 or 2 coats of primer on here because it'll be finished matte. So that's it. That's 16 little blocks for the ceiling done. First coat. If they need a second coat, I'll just do it. I'm not going to film that. That would be just insanely boring. And then if you're still not sure what the hell is going on, you'll probably find out next. Cheers. Good morning. It's Thursday of week 6. And today we are finally putting panels on the wall and the ceiling. So let's flip this around and see what's what. So this is one of the panels that's going to go on the ceiling. So what I'm doing right now is I'm drilling some tiny little pilot holes for the hooks in the 4 corners. Yeah, so the first panel is going to hang on these ones, and then the lower panel is going to hang on the outside ones. Okay, I've pulled 2 of those too tight, so I need to cut those off and put some different ones on there. lesson learned from this one. I need to bring the mounts on the ceiling closer into the actual line, or at least the first ones. They need to actually sit directly inside. I think I made a mistake of putting them too far out, whereas only the second one needs to be hanging that far out. But we shall keep going. On to the second one. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not perfect, and it was never meant to be perfect because I don't have the budget for perfect. I'm making do with what I've got because this project has already gone over budget. So yeah, I've ended up pulling these, and they've actually raised the top ones a little bit, which is an unintended nicety actually. So I'm going to get a cutters now, trim those off. But yeah, I'm pleased with that. That's worked out alright. I think I might use the cable ties for all of it. We'll see how we get on. But yeah, let's start hanging some more panels. So the wall panels, I've got two little L brackets, and they're going to go on either side there, and then they can hang on the dado rail, on the rail over there. So I can just literally hang them on, move them around as I want, and I can just take them off if I want as well. So they're not fixed in place. I can actually, I've got flexibility if I ever move the room around, want to just experiment with something, I can do that. So let's screw these on and see how we get on. Also, to keep the bottom part of the panel off the wall, so there's not hanging on an angle, I've just got some simple little rubber feet that I'm going to screw to the bottom of each side so that the panel actually sits off the wall comfortably. Two orange marks on the wall. There's one there, and there's one here. These are the first reflection points on the back wall. So I'm just going to centre these over those. Okay, so that's hung over the point, and you can see I've got a nice little air gap. Looks like it's pretty much about 40mm. There we go. So you can see that's sitting up on the little rail, dado rail, picture frame rail nicely. And then we've got a nice air gap at the back, and then the feet are holding the bottom off the wall nicely. I'm really pleased with that. So I'm going to crack on now and do the rest. So I might just do a little, fast forwardy time lapse type thingy now while I crack on with some more. Awesome. See you in a bit. Primo. Good morning. I've just finished the first draft of the acoustic panels. They're all up, so let's go and have a look, shall we? So that's the business end of the room. And then if I spin it around, that's my office end. And really pleased, really pleased. I redid these. I'm much happier with that arrangement compared to my mistake with the first lot, but you know, hey, it is what it is. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be pretty. But yeah, that's turned out much better. Even though I could literally cut those cable ties and just twist that 90 degrees, and I could literally just mount them screw to screw. But I'm very happy with the floating panels. Very happy. I've got some diffusers coming from Tom, but they're not being delivered until next week. So the sort of last plan of attack really is to put one diffuser panel there and then the other diffuser panel on the door. The doors are getting covered in the sound mat for a bit more mass and a bit more density, because at the minute the doors, even though they're sealed now with the seals around the frame, they're still a weak point because there's just nowhere near enough mass, and it's an echo chamber as well at the minute. So sound mat, sound mat, sound mat, and then I've got these timbers that I am about to cut up, well, after I've measured, but I'm going to measure. So we're going to have 100mm rock wool panel on the bottom half of this door, and then we're going to have 100mm rock wool acoustic panel on the top half of this door. I wanted to spread, I didn't want one door taking all the weight, so I'm just going to offset by having one panel on one door, one panel on the other, so that the weight is distributed between the two doors, because it's going to be heavy enough with the sound mat over there. So yes, I am very pleased, very pleased. I'm almost ready to move in. Once I get these doors sorted and the last two panels done, yeah, I can start moving my stuff in, my office desk. But I am very pleased with how this has turned out. It's been a lot of hard work, but we're getting there. So this might be the last but one episode, the penultimate episode. But we shall see. Thanks for watching. Stick around. Thank you very much.